Acermethecyserglin 1 year later. Say that 3 times fast.
1 year later, 1 year later, 1 year later.
That. So, this is, oh wow, yeah, it's like exactly a year. It's 15.4% and it ended at 1.000. So this is on the dry side. But before we get to that, we have to do the pour cam. Looking at it, first, it's a lovely color.
It is.
I love
gorgeous.
That
I love it.
It's like an orangey, golden, amber. It's just beautiful. It's also quite clear. I would say that is 9.5 on the clarity scale. We don't really have a clarity scale. I just throw out numbers every once in a while.
It's pretty.
On the smell, there's a lot going on in there.
There's apple and spice and everything nice.
Oh, wow. I get maple, too.
Yeah.
Everything's
there on the aroma.
Now, I remember liking this when it was young.
I remember liking it, but I remember not liking it as much as I wanted to like it.
I remember drinking almost all of it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think this is all that's left. Maybe a 2-year bottle, I'm not sure.
Smells fantastic, though.
The aroma is rich and deep and complex. There's a lot going on. Definitely get, like, the maple flavors coming through, a little bit of apple, like a green apple.
And the cinnamon and the other spices.
Oh, yeah. And then, there's definitely a honey character behind all that, too.
I know this seems really silly, but it reminds me of one of those high-end scented candles.
It kind of does, yeah. In a good way, though. Not like to make you gag when you walk in the store kind of thing.
This is the
All right, I'm tasting it.
Acermethecyserglin candle.
Okay, that is thick and viscous. It's sweeter than I expected. On the front, it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Definitely gets the mead and maple honey, or mead and maple honey. Mead, like a honey and maple flavor coming through on the beginning. That Acerglin flavor definitely comes through. I'm
actually getting the heat sensation from the cinnamon that I don't typically get, or at least I don't recall getting with the spiced meads, but it's got eau de la red hot going on.
A little bit. There's 2/3 of the way through. I don't even want to say halfway. 2/3 of the way through. I'm getting an odd bitterness that I can only attribute to the maple syrup / honey combo. Had we sweetened this slightly, I think we could have maybe made that go away.
It was weird that it's kind of middle-ish rather than the end, because normally we get it just...
Normally that's right at the back.
Right at the end.
This is like 2/3 of the way through.
And so as you're traveling through it, it's like, oh, wow, that's nice. Oh, that's right. And then it's like record break, whatever.
It's really nice until I hit that. It's a little stronger than I would like it to be. So that means we may have to test sweetening this to see if that improves it, because I think it would. We'll test that. It's coming up. Keep watching. Interesting.
If that bitter note was out,
this
would be like an 11, no problem.
Yeah, this has such a rich complexity to it. Like, I'm even tasting dark fruits along with the green apple.
Yeah.
Along with the honey character and the maple notes coming through. It almost tastes oaked even. Like, there's a good tannic quality. It's nice and viscous.
And that's a good point, and something that actually makes me really happy, because I believe this was my Frankenstein monster, wasn't it? That I'm like, why don't we put all these things together?
It might have been, yeah. I think somebody asked for it.
That they are all still representative.
Oh, yeah.
After a year. You can taste the honey, you can taste the maple, you can taste the apple, you can taste the spices. They're all there.
Like I say, it's a little sweeter than the 1.000 would suggest. But it does have that odd bitterness that I can only attribute to being dry and being an Acerglin. Usually people back sweeten Acerglins quite strongly. And it's got a lot of spices in it. When spices aren't sweet, they come across as stringent. And I think that the combination of those two things is what's doing this.
So my suggestion at this point is to go ahead and give it a number, write it as it is,
yes,
not muddle along with this anymore, and then get to making it better.
All right. I have a number.
I have a number too.
1, 2, 3, 6.
5.
Wow. You waited until you heard mine.
No, well, I did wait because for some reason I got distracted on the counting.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Don't ask. Yes,
one of those
this
weeks.
is our first tasting, and no, we have not had any alcohol
we just
today.
ate lunch.
And we just ate a pretty decent sized lunch. So it is not the alcohol that is muddling my brain. It's really, I think I'm thinking too much about this because there's the pleasant aspects to me in my vague recollection of a year ago.
I think it was better a year ago.
Was that my recollection is I didn't like it as much a year ago.
Oh, okay.
But the pleasant aspects of it have been pronounced in this. But I think you have nice, discordant, okay, as your layers, as you're traveling through it. And it's that discordant note that just kind of breaks your immersion, if you will, if you're a gamer. And you're just like, what? No, you ruined my happiness. Why did you ruin my happiness? So
I think it needs some sweetness.
let's try to regain our happiness.
I'm not going to mix honey in these glasses, though. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so we each have our weapons of choice. Derica, of course, got the Cointreau out.
I was just thinking those flavors with an orangey-like sweet thing sounds like it'd be really nice. It is mine.
Maybe. Yeah, I was looking for the lid.
It's attached.
I have honey. This happens to be, I think it's blackberry honey. Unfortunately, when you wash, like you try to wipe it off, the labeling comes off. I'm not going to put in a lot, just like half a teaspoon. I don't know what that amounts to in a full gallon, but yeah. This isn't science. This is testing stuff out.
And we don't intend on augmenting the beverage itself.
We might make it again and augment it.
Yeah.
Or just an experiment, just to see.
I got a tickle.
See in about an hour once this is mixed up. You can go ahead.
All right. So I did the swirl, and I'm not doing as good now. Oh, there we go. Brian is so good at the swirl. I think it's an eye-hand coordination thing, which I unfortunately am severely lacking. That's why he's laughing at me. It's okay. I embrace that side of me. I'm fine with that.
Wait, let me see it. You just do this. But if you grab it from the bottom and you do it, that's how you really get it. Notice I just did it with both hands too.
Did you know he's ambidextrous? Is that the word? Did I say it right?
Ambidextrous.
I kind of
Mostly.
messed it up.
I kind of favor my left hand now, but
He used to be super,
yeah, I used to be able to write with both hands.
yeah, like at the same time, obnoxious type thing. Anyway,
Write two different things. At
let's
the same
get
time.
back to alcohol, shall we? Oh, see, now just smelling that smells like it was the right.
It smells like orange now to me.
I'm okay with that.
I know, but see, that's the problem that I have with Cointreau. It turns everything into an orange liqueur product rather than just enhancing. It turns everything into orange liqueur. I don't really think that's horrible, just not everything needs to be orange liqueur.
I think I did too much Cointreau. It tastes really good, but it pretty much just tastes
Measurements, Derica, they don't really go well together.
I'm just going to throw that into the math side of things, and we don't do math.
Time, numbers, measuring.
Ages, phone numbers, addresses.
This is so totally not mixing.
It's resisting. You have to tell
Well,
it.
there's still some on the spoon.
Resistance is futile.
This really is the first drinking we've done all day. Actually, it's the first drinking we've done since like Sunday. Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, we haven't really partaken in dry January because we're home brewers and
I made it till 2 p.m. on New Year's Day.
and we have to make a living, and part of that living requires us to drink alcoholic beverages. But we are trying to limit our consumption on non-work days, which I know probably sounds really silly. Anyway, I'm battling. Did I swirl it? I think I swirled it. Can you swirl it? I'm making a mess over here.
Mm-hmm. So everybody thinks that I make the messes.
And Brian, because he's a sweet, adorable, wonderful person, regardless of what he may want you to think, likes to say that he makes messes to try to cover up the fact that I actually make the messes.
Is that why I do that?
Yes, I figured you out. All right, are you mixed?
Yeah, I tried yours.
Oh.
It's less orange liqueur now, but it's still very orange liqueur.
Regardless, it got rid of that middle
Mine is pure liquid gold in a glass.
All right.
It's a little on the sweet side now. Like more sweet than it probably needs to be.
Oh, it's really honey forward on the aroma.
Well, I just put pure honey into it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We always joke about.
It does change the smell.
When we joke, when we add white sugar, it smells the same. Ha ha ha. But when you add honey.
Will actually change the aromatics of it, yeah. Yeah. That's a 10 to 11 now. It's that good.
Are we still getting all... No, I think we are. We're still getting all the components. It's more honey forward, but I thought we'd lost the maple, but
the maple's still there.
It comes in a little later for me, but...
I get green apple right up front.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting some honey, some florals now. It's like some flowers that weren't really there. See, here's the thing. Salt and sugar, like sweetened things, both are flavor enhancers. So they can bring out flavors, not just make it sweeter, but they can also cut other flavors back, like the tartness. The tartness and bitterness both can be kind of pushed back by sweetness. And that's what has happened here. All that bitterness, well, not all of it, most of that bitterness is gone. There's still a strong tannic and semi-astringent aspect towards the end, but it's actually nice now. Like it cuts the sweetness rather than...
So yeah, I think we could revisit this and employ our new technique where when we do our tasting...
You know what we gotta do, right?
Oh, well, of course, for science. When we do our tasting pre-bottling, our new technique is to take that and try to get to a 10 or 11, if even possible.
As close as we can.
As close as we can to the pinnacle of what that beverage should be. Sometimes it's achievable, sometimes it's not. More often than not, it requires sweetness, though we've had a few that needed a little more acid added to it or whatever.
Flavor adjustments here and there.
Right. And so that is what we're trying to do now in our process. I think this is worth revisiting and back sweetening it.
Now it's a Derica beverage.
Oh no, I have to drink all this. I'm so sad.
I just got goosebumps. There's a thing, back many years ago, I used to get goosebumps from anything that was like too dry. And I don't know what it is, but it hasn't happened in a long time. That's not dry.
It's not dry.
But I don't think I like Cointreau so much. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. He didn't mean that. That's all right.
Okay, you see that big bottle. There's this much left in the bottom. How much of it was mine? How much did I have? Like maybe 3 sips. I just don't. I don't drink
anything I did a mixing with and had to try it pretty
3
much.
sips. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. This is actually really nice. And I kind of like doing this on the tastings now. Changing things up, adding things to it, and experimenting. It extends what you expect flavors to be and gives you more experiences. So try that when you're doing a tasting of your own brew.
Yeah.
Say, you know what if I added this? Well, now's a perfect opportunity. Grab a glass, add a little bit to it, and see what happens.
So my synopsis for this particular recipe a year later is that it's a wonderful recipe. It really has a great balance of the different elements that are put into it. I just would say back sweeten it to your taste before bottling.
10 to 12 points of gravity added to this, like bring it up to a 1.010 to 1.012 probably would be perfectly ideal. It would be enough to combat that little bit of bitterness that was there without making it overly sweet. I added too much honey in my glass, but it's hard to, little spoon, but whatever.
And I think honey is probably the best sweetener to use with this particular beverage because the flavors really work well together. I don't think
maple syrup would work too, but it was a little maple forward before. Now the honey, as she said, the honey became so forward it kind of pushed the maple back when I added too much honey. So I think adding more maple, you'd lose the honey altogether.
But do you think just white sugar would?
White sugar would be a neutral way to sweeten it, and it would keep all the flavors. I think adding just like half the honey that I did would bring the honey up a little, keeping everything else in line, and really give you that equal for all 4 flavors. Of course, we won't know until we try that, but that seems like a good assessment. And maybe even a combination of sweetening with honey and sugar, depending.
Right. So my thoughts are, do that if you want to do this exact recipe, but I am willing as us to revisit this recipe, but I think besides back sweetening, because I'm leaning more towards honey as a back sweetener, I would then want to fortify it.
Oh, that'd be interesting. And then we have to decide what to fortify
And
it
we'd
with.
have to decide.
But see, that turns into a whole other video, and we've already gone far longer than we need to here.
No, this is just my synopsis. We're done. This
we're
video's
done
done now.
Really? That's it?
That's it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.